Evaluate the function f of x equals x minus 2 if x is less than or equal to 0, and f of x equals 2x plus 1 if x is greater than 0. Part A, when x equals negative 1. Because negative 1 is less than or equal to 0, use the first equation, f of x equals x minus 2. To find the value of f when x equals negative 1, substitute negative 1 for x. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3, so the value of f is negative 3 when x equals negative 1. Part B, when x equals 1. Because 1 is greater than 0, use the second equation, f of x equals 2x plus 1. To find the value of f when x equals 1, substitute 1 for x. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So the value of f is 3 when x equals 1. Graph y equals negative x plus 2 if x is less than or equal to 0, and y equals 2x if x is greater than 0. Describe the domain and range. Graph y equals negative x plus 2 for x less than or equal to 0. Substituting negative 3 for x and y equals negative x plus 2, you find when x equals negative 3, y equals 5. Similarly, when x equals negative 1, y equals 3. And when x equals 0, y equals 2. So you want to plot the points negative 3, 5, negative 1, 3, and 0, 2. Because x is less than or equal to 0, use a closed circle at 0, 2. Graph y equals 2x for x greater than 0. Substituting 0 for x and y equals 2x gives y equals 0. Substituting 1 for x and y equals 2x, you find when x equals 1, y equals 2. Similarly, when x equals 2, y equals 4. Because x is not equal to 0, use an open circle at 0, 0. Then plot the points 1, 2, and 2, 4. Now you want to describe the domain and range. The domain is the set of all possible x values. From the graph, you can see that the domain is the set of all real numbers. The range is the set of all possible y values. From the graph, you can see that the range is the set of all real numbers greater than 0, which can be represented by the inequality y greater than 0. Graph Write a piecewise function for the graph. Each piece of the function is linear. When x is less than 0, the graph passes through the points -2, 0 and -3, 1. Let x1, y1 equal -2, 0 and x2, y2 equal -3, 1. Substituting these points into the slope formula, you get the quantity 1 minus 0 divided by the quantity -3 minus -2, which simplifies to 1 divided by -1, or -1. Now use the point-slope form of an equation of a line to find the equation of the graph when x is less than or equal to 0. Substituting -1 for m, -2 for x1, and 0 for y1, you get y minus 0 equals -1 times the quantity x minus -2. Distributing the -1 through the quantity x minus -2, you get y equals -x minus 2. So when x is less than or equal to 0, the graph is the line given by y equals -x minus 2. When x is greater than 0, the graph passes through the points 2, 1, and 3, 3. Let x1, y1 equal 2, 1 and x2, y2 equal 3, 3. Substituting these points into the slope formula, you get the quantity 3 minus 1 divided by the quantity 3 minus 2, which simplifies to 2 divided by 1, or 2. Now use the point-slope form of an equation of a line to find the equation of the graph when x is greater than 0. Substituting 2 for m, 2 for x1, and 1 for y1, you get y minus 1 equals 2 times the quantity x minus 2. Distributing the 2 through the quantity x minus 2, you get y minus 1 equals 2x minus 4. Now solve for y by adding 1 to each side, leaving you with y equals 2x minus 3. So when x is greater than 0, the graph is the line given by y equals 2x minus 3. So a piecewise function for the graph is f of x equals -x minus 2 if x is less than or equal to 0, and f of x equals 2x minus 3 if x is greater than 0. You rent a bicycle for 4 days. The bike store charges $20 for the first day and $15 for each additional day. Write and graph a step function that represents the relationship between the number x of days and the total cost y in dollars of renting the bicycle. Use a table to organize the information. Because you rent the bicycle for 4 days, the domain is all real numbers greater than 0 and less than or equal to 4. The total cost when x is greater than 0 and less than or equal to 1 is the total cost for the first day, which is given to be $20. The total cost when x is greater than 1 and less than or equal to 2 is the total cost to rent the bicycle for 2 days. Because the bike store charges $15 for each additional day, to find the total cost to rent the bicycle for 2 days, add 15 to 20, so the total cost is $35. The total cost when x is greater than 2 and less than or equal to 3 is the total cost to rent the bicycle for 3 days. To find this value, add 15 to 35, so the total cost is $50. The total cost when x is greater than 3 and less than or equal to 4 is the total cost to rent the bicycle for 4 days. To find this value, add 15 to 50, so the total cost is $65. Now use the table to write a step function. F of x equals 20 if 0 is less than x is less than or equal to 1. F of x equals 35 if 1 is less than x is less than or equal to 2. F of x equals 50 if 2 is less than x is less than or equal to 3. And f of x equals 65 if 3 is less than x is less than or equal to 4. Now you want to graph this step function. Because x does not equal 0 in the first equation, draw an open circle at 0, 20. Then draw a line segment at y equals 20 for all values of x greater than 0 and less than or equal to 1. Because x equals 1 in the first equation, draw a closed circle at 120. Because x does not equal 1 in the second equation, draw an open circle at 135. Then draw a line segment at y equals 35 for all values of x greater than 1 and less than or equal to 2. Because x equals 2 in the second equation, draw a closed circle at 235. Because x does not equal 2 in the third equation, draw an open circle at 250. Then draw a line segment at y equals 50 for all values of x greater than 2 and less than or equal to 3. Because x equals 3 in the third equation, draw a closed circle at 350. Because x does not equal 3 in the fourth equation, draw an open circle at 365. Then draw a line segment at y equals 65 for all values of x greater than 3 and less than or equal to 4. Because x equals 4 in the fourth equation, draw a closed circle at 465. In holography, the light from a laser beam is split into two beams, a reference beam and an object beam. Light from the object beam reflects off an object and is recombined with the reference beam to form images on film that can be used to create three-dimensional images. Part A. Write an absolute value function that represents the path of the reference beam. The vertex of the path of the reference beam is 5, 6. So the function has the form g of x equals a times the absolute value of the quantity x minus 5 plus 6. Substitute the coordinates of the point 1, 0 into the equation and solve for a. The absolute value of the quantity 1 minus 5 is 4. So you have 0 equals a times 4 plus 6. Solving for a, you get negative 1 and 5/10 equals a. So the function g of x equals negative 1 and 5/10 times the absolute value of the quantity x minus 5 plus 6 represents the path of the reference beam. Part B. Write the function in Part A as a piecewise function. The function in Part A is g of x equals negative 1 and 5/10 times the negative of the quantity x minus 5 plus 6 if x minus 5 is less than 0, and g of x equals negative 1 and 5/10 times the quantity x minus 5 plus 6 if x minus 5 is greater than or equal to 0. First, simplify g of x equals negative 1 5/10 times the negative of the quantity x minus 5 plus 6 if x minus 5 is less than 0. Distributing the negative through the quantity x minus 5, you get negative 1 5/10 times the quantity negative x plus 5 plus 6. Distributing the negative 1 5/10 through the quantity negative x plus 5, you get 1 5/10 x minus 7 5/10 plus 6. Then combining like terms, you are left with 1 5/10 x minus 1 5/10. The inequality x minus 5 is less than 0 simplifies to x is less than 5. So you have g of x equals 1 5/10 x minus 1 5/10 if x is less than 5. Now simplify g of x equals negative 1 5/10 times the quantity x minus 5 plus 6 if x minus 5 is greater than or equal to 0. Distributing the negative 1 5/10 through the quantity x minus 5, you get negative 1 5/10 x plus 7 5/10 plus 6. Then combining like terms, you get negative 1 5/10 x plus 13 5/10. The inequality x minus 5 is greater than or equal to 0 simplifies to x is greater than or equal to 5. So you have g of x equals negative 1 5/10 x plus 13 5/10 if x is greater than or equal to 5. So a piecewise function for g of x equals negative 1 5/10 times the absolute value of the quantity x minus 5 plus 6 is g of x equals 1 5/10 x minus 1 5/10 if x is less than 5, and g of x equals negative 1 5/10 x plus 13 5/10 if x is greater than or equal to 5.